I've had a very hard time when it comes to stop playing the Strinova demo, but I got help from the game itself since the playtest ended on October 21st, which was yesterday. Now, I posted a video recently where I talked about Strinova, describing what kind of game it is, and the fact that I thought you would try it out if you are a FPS or shooter gamer like me, and if you're also into anime. Well, I'm not so much into anime and don't know much about the Strinova characters or universe, but I do recognize a pretty fun and interesting shooter when I do come across one, and Strinova has been just that. Also in a time where there's not so many interesting shooter games to play at the moment, at least not for me. Sure, I've done some other playtests when it comes to actual games being released soon as Strinova, and I've tried them out, such as Fragpunk and Delta Force, and I'm not going to talk about them right now, because there's videos up and running on my channel if you're interested to hear my thoughts and impressions when it comes to these upcoming games as well. But the good thing with Strinova is that it looks and feels different compared to most other shooters, both when it comes to the actual art style and graphics, and I do think it looks great by the way, but also the mix between the third and first person mode, and foremost the paper thin feature, meaning the possibility to make your character thin as a paper, going from 3D into 2D in order to either squeeze yourself through a tight area on the map, or to avoid enemy shots as a tactic, or just glide through the air in order to move faster or reach a higher ground on the map. This together with a bunch of nice looking anime characters with different abilities, a lot of customization options, skins and rewards, and a pretty solid gameplay has made me log into the game to play some more. Add to that also fun game modes and both casual and ranked playlists, and you do get a nice mix that can appeal to different kind of players. To be honest, I wasn't expecting myself to enjoy this game as much as I have, since I mainly do play shooters with more macho style, if you will, when it comes to soldiers and vehicles and big explosions and so on. But Strinova feels like a nice middle ground between casual fun and also competitive gameplay that I enjoy. It has also felt quite chill and relaxing overall when it comes to the community experience so far, or should I say the upcoming community of Strinova, since the game isn't yet released. Yeah, I did uninstall the game for now since the playtest is over, but I'm of course looking forward to play some more. Potentially there could be another beta before the actual release, even though a full release isn't that far away, according to the developers that has said that Strinova will be released on PC between October and December this year. Good news. Although I'll have to start over again when it comes to unlocking characters, etc., since that kind of progression isn't carried over from the playtest into the full game, which I can understand. But I don't mind, since the progression system, at least in the playtest, has been pretty fast moving and not as tedious as I've experienced it to be in many other games that I've played. I'm also very curious to see how Strinova will be received after launch. Will it be a niche game for a selected few, or does it have a chance to compete in a more open field of shooter games? What do you think? Well, as mentioned also in my previous Strinova video, the game will also be released on console and mobile in 2025, so I guess that will increase the chances to establish the game somewhat as well. I'm glad though to still be surprised, but also somewhat hooked to a game still after playing so many shooters during all these years. Because when playing Strinova, I partly got that old familiar feeling of wanting more, and at the same time also just enjoying the good time playing. Feelings that are more rare for me nowadays, since there's so many games out there and it's easy to get bored or uninterested, sometimes too soon, when you have a backpack also of experiences and memories that you've gathered playing a certain genre for many years. Good news then for me that my curiosity when it comes to the genre made me go through Steam once more some weeks ago, and it was there I came across Strinova. Since I haven't really seen many bigger YouTubers covering the game, at least not yet, or maybe we're talking about channels I usually don't watch that much and therefore aren't aware of. With that said, I do hope that the game gets some recognition by gamers, YouTubers and their communities when it will be released, because I do believe Strinova deserves that. One thing that might push away some players is the fact that Strinova, if the info is correct, is using the Tencent's kernel level anti-cheat called ACE. For those of you that aren't aware of kernel based anti-cheats and how they work, Here's a short explanation. A kernel-level anti-cheat system is a derivative technology that allows virtual world developers to detect illicit behavior by identifying malware and hacks directly on the computer running them, rather than through patterns inside a virtual environment, for example, an online game. So what does that mean then for you from a security point of view, playing games using your PC and all that? Yes, well, the most concerning risk is related to security. When a program operates at the kernel level, any vulnerability in that program can potentially open the door to the entire system. If exploited, it can lead to serious security breaches. Well, personally, I've played games before using kernel-based anti-cheat systems, and I've never encountered any issues. But even so, it is a potential risk as stated, so I thought I would mention it here, and it has been discussed in many games recently. But anti-cheat system aside, Strinova did almost reach a 9.8k 24-player peak during the playtest, and around 14.3k players when it comes to an all-time peak during the playtest. Not amazing numbers, but it is a start, considering that it's the stats when it comes to the actual playtest. So with that said, next time you'll see a Strinova video here on my channel, it will either be if the developers decide to have another playtest before the release, or the actual release. Well, as always, I would love to hear from you what you think about Strinova so far. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button since it helps me out here on YouTube. And I hope to see you soon again in my next video. Thanks for watching, have a beautiful day, cheers.